College football roundup, game previews. Let's start with number 11 Oregon versus number 3 Georgia. The Bulldogs are a 17-point favorite there in Atlanta, and I can't wait to watch Bo Nix do Bo Nix things. And like the absolute ultimate wild card in college football, and clearly the game being played in Atlanta is a big advantage for Georgia. But I am similar to, the effect Venables has had at OU. I'm interested to see what type of effect Dan Lanning has had on the way Oregon plays and battles at the line of scrimmage. And I know Mario Cristobal was a tough dude. I understand that. But I'm interested to see if it's ramped up a little bit under Lanning. And they've got talent. Oregon has talent along the offensive line and defensive line. Like, they've got more talent than a lot of SEC teams along the line of scrimmage. So when I look at the game, it's kind of like, okay, what is Stetson Bennett going to be at quarterback? Like, is he played efficient football last year, despite what some people want to think, but can Oregon hold up against Georgia's rushing attack? Because that's kind of what gives Stetson Bennett his biggest advantage, is that they ran the ball so well last year. I don't know, man, because no one knows Todd Monken's offense and how to slow it down better than Dan Lanning, right? He was just with the guy for a couple of years there at Georgia. So I expect this game to be more competitive than people think. I like Georgia to win the game. I like Oregon to cover that 17. I'm just not sure if Oregon can hold up to the assault for 4 straight quarters. But I am interested in this game.
I think you're exactly right. And you took the words right out of my mouth there whenever you're talking about Lanning going against Todd Monken's offense. There's no one else that has seen as many snaps against this offense as Dan Lanning. There's no one else out there. He'll understand exactly what he likes to do and how he's going to try and attack them. And, you would say, well, Georgia will understand Lanning as well because, they were battling in those same practices. Not necessarily. Lanning was he was the defensive coordinator there, but Kirby Smart had his thumb on it, right? It was his defense, his style, what he wanted to do. And I'm sure there's going to be some things that Dan Lanning wants to do differently. Maybe not wholesale differently, but at least some tweaks to that. So I do think it's interesting. And you're right. The talent level at Oregon is way better than I think what a lot of people expect. Here's the question though. Can Bo Nix get it done? Can he be efficient? Can he take care of the football? Here's what Georgia's going to do. They're going to put you in 3rd and long, right? They're going to make it really difficult to run it. They're going to put you in some predictable spots. So Bo Nix is going to have to make some big time throws on some 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s against pass defense to really, thread the needle, put some really tough competitive throws in there to have a chance. If he can't do that, or he's loose with the ball and turns it over, they don't have a shot. But, I hate to say that it's on Bo Nix to win the game, but that's where you're going to be able to tell. If he can go out there and put something special together, look really good, sharp, efficient, then they'll have a chance. And I like the offensive coordinator out there at Oregon. He's done some really good things. So yeah, I'm excited about it too. I think Georgia wins it, but I do feel like there could be a bit of a championship hangover with Georgia. It's just natural.
Right. And the one thing I know about that game is you're going to be salivating when it comes to watching Oregon's backers. Arguably the best combo, right, with Flo and Sewell in the country at inside backers. So you're just going to be going, yes.
Yeah, I feel like Sewell's been there for 4 or 5 years now. And this is he just going to be was he a freshman last year?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's a stud. Big, thick, physical. And Flo can absolutely fly all over the field, really athletic. Yeah, they've got some dudes.
Yeah. All right. Next game, number 7, Utah heads to the Swamp for 7 p.m. Eastern kickoff. And Utah's favored, a 3-point favorite. And I think this is going to be an awesome game. Utah probably the more developed team at the line of scrimmage, right? I don't want to say they're tougher, but that's probably the best way to say it. Florida, even though it hasn't been up to, the Florida standard lately, they're going to be the more athletic team. I'm convinced. Now, I think Cam Rising, Tavion Thomas, that Utah offense, they're going to be able to put some points up against Florida's defense. But the number one reason I'm excited about this game is Anthony Richardson. I cannot wait to watch this freak show play. You talk about having all the measurables at the quarterback position. I think Napier is going to dial some stuff up for him in the run game. I think he's going to dial some stuff up to get him some easy completions early to build his confidence as far as running the football for Florida. Attacking the interior of Utah's defense is not the way to go. I would attack the edges. So you're going to see some wide zone, some pin pull stuff on the edges of that Utah defense. But if Richardson plays well, I think Florida wins the game, because I think that's going to be a really tough atmosphere for Utah. And full disclosure, man, my boy Ty Darlington's down there on Napier's staff now. I just want Ty to be happy. So I want Florida to win the game. I know a lot of people think Utah are the better team. Clearly Vegas, you look at the line, but Ted, I kind of like Florida in this one. Maybe it's my SEC bias showing.
How about this? If this game was played in week 5 or week 6, I think I would like Florida.
That's
but
fair.
Since it's being played in week 1, I think I like Utah. Utah is a seasoned, experienced football team, and it is going to be a big environment, but they've played in big environment football games. They're hard-nosed. They're disciplined. They take care of the football. They make the plays that they're supposed to. They tackle well.
Damn it, you've convinced me. Give me Utah. Damn you, Lehman.
I think Utah is – I just think they'll be more prepared at this point in the season. Florida is one of the teams I put Florida in there. I put Oklahoma in there. There's a handful of teams, and maybe Oregon is one too. I think there's some teams in the country that are going to be way better in November than what you see right out of the gate. Florida is going to be a problem for some teams as this year unfolds, but early on, I think Utah gets the win.
Yeah, and I think that Utah defense, that Utah secondary, they got some guys, man. Yep. They got some guys that are going to be, high round picks in the NFL draft. So I just think the Swamp at night to start the season, like, that's not going to be easy, but I think you've convinced me.
Well, here's the thing. First start, huge atmosphere, tough opponent. There'll be a tendency to maybe do some things more than what you need to do. And that plays directly into Utah's hands.
No, I'm with you. I think you've convinced me. But once again, just want Darlington to be happy.
I said Nebraska was going to absolutely destroy Northwestern. So what do I know?
Yeah, and I'm doing that new TV show for Bet Online. I took Northwestern. I didn't tell you about it. I was like, yeah, give me the Wildcats. I was like, I'm gonna let my man Teddy cook, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Wildcats. Okay, last game I want to talk about. Number 5, Notre Dame at number 2, Ohio State. The Buckeyes are a 17.5-point favorite in this one. Marcus Freeman heading back to the old alma mater as a big dog. And when you think about how this game needs to play out for Notre Dame, it is paramount that Tyler Buckner and that Notre Dame offense get off to a quick start. we'll see what the new defense at Ohio State under Jim Knowles looks like, but they need to make Ohio State feel that pressure, and then they need to take the air out of the ball a little bit. They need to possess the football. We know Notre Dame's offensive line is going to be very good. They always are. The Ohio State defensive front has been disappointing for the last couple of years. So if Notre Dame's offensive line can get after those guys a little bit, I think this game can be way more interesting than what some people think. And if you're Notre Dame, you got to keep CJ Stroud and that just ridiculous wide receiver core for Ohio State on the sidelines. You have to. And I've got some questions about Ohio State's offensive line. I do. And Notre Dame, I expect them to have a really good plan defensively with Marcus Freeman leading the charge there now. So we'll see, man. But I know Ohio State has all the talent in the world on that offense. Travion Henderson is just a freak show at running back. But I really think Notre Dame can make this one a little more competitive than people think.
I hope so.
But, ooh, that sounded like you have doubts.
Here's my only thing. There's no doubt that I think Marcus Freeman's going to have a really good game plan defensively. I think it comes down to how much has Knowles affected that Ohio State defense? How much better are they? But it's hard for me in a game like this. In my mind, there is such a huge discrepancy at the quarterback position between Ohio State and Notre Dame. How is it possible to make up that ground? And I think you're hitting on the right thing. Take the air out of the ball. If they can dominate the line of scrimmage and run it well, run it effectively, move the chains, don't turn it over, hit on a couple of third downs, put together 12 and 14 play drives, but you absolutely have to punch the ball into the zone. Like you can't end up with field goals because you may get some stops against Ohio State. But if you look at their offense from a year ago and CJ Stroud, they're not going to turn it over and they're going to score points. I think you're going to, like Notre Dame, I expect to hold Ohio State well below their season average of points. But can you match that on the other end? And can your quarterback make the plays that he's going to need to make? Because you're trying to cover a lot of ground there between those two positions, and it's the most important position on the field.
Yeah, and when it comes to that aggressive mentality for Notre Dame, I'm interested to see because Marcus Freeman's going to have some tough choices to make during this game, right? Fourth down decisions. And what's he going to do, right?
Yeah. Here's what happens. You're right. There's going to be some opportunities like that. And the problem for Notre Dame is you miss a fourth down conversion, you turn the football over, and there's a separation. You're down 14, you're down 17. Now you have to come out of that game plan, that mindset of just chunking it down the field, like inching it down the field. You got to start trying to make plays. And that's where I worry about Notre Dame getting into trouble, is whenever they have to start to try to get aggressive offensively.
Yeah. I'll take Ohio State to win. Notre Dame covers. Let's do it. 17.5. That's a big number, man.
That's a huge number. I'll take Notre Dame to cover that. I'll take them to cover that. You worry late whenever you get really aggressive trying to make something happen that you don't put yourself in a really bad spot.
Yeah. Notre Dame fans, which I'm sure tons of Notre Dame fans listen to this podcast. They've got to be very concerned that we are both back in the Irish. Oh boy.
I know one Notre Dame fan that listens, my mom. Okay. And she'll be pulling for Notre Dame no matter what.